Hi everyone, welcome back to Hope and Coffee. My hair is looking kind of crazy today. It was kind of curled, and then it was like rainy this morning, and then it was humid, and you know what? We just let it be what it is. I'm just ready for fall. Still haven't decided. I think I want to do my hair extensions sometime around the beginning of October, so I've got about one more month. But I am very excited to get my hair extensions back in because I love them, even though everybody has been like loving my short hair. So I don't know. Let me know what you think down below about the short hair versus the long hair, if you've been around long enough to see my hair in both ways. I love my princess hair, but I also kind of love the short hair because it's easy to dry, easy to fix. But yeah, sometimes it just gets kind of like fluffy. So who knows? Anyway, today's particular episode on Hope and Coffee, as we sit here and we try to have a conversation about food and mental health. And I know we've kind of talked a little bit about other sorts of, we've talked about some beverages that can lead to inflammation. We've probably talked about protein and weight loss. This one was a little bit different, but also kind of in the same vein of self-care and just kind of hoping to start that conversation a little bit more about food and the way it can affect our body in more than just the physical ways. And there is a growing body of literature on the association between your diet and your mental health. And when I say diet, I'm not talking about any sort of like fad dieting or anything like that. I am talking about your day-to-day intake of food. What are you putting in your body morning, noon, and night? And what does that look like on a fairly average basis? And do you feel good about those choices? Why do you make those choices? And do you do it out of convenience? Do you do it because it makes you feel good? Does it just taste good? Is it empty calories? Like, is it a habit now at this point? Like, how do you make your choices with food-related things? And I'm talking about just what we consume on a daily basis. So if I say diet, it is your daily intake of food. It is not any particular eating style other than what you have in your fridge and what you put in your mouth. So our food lifestyle does affect our mental health as well as our physical health. And though I've done a couple episodes on processed foods as well, or I've done at least one, I wanted to talk about this particular article that I ran across because this particular article talked about a study that was done over the course of 7.6 years. I don't know why they decided to do it over 7.6 years, but they did. And it had over 157,000 participants. That's 157,000 and a plus sign. So that is a little bit more than that number of people. Now, this study ultimately suggested that a diet, an average eating plan that contained free sugars, which is added sugars, or artificial sweeteners that were added after the fact, but that was also low in fiber and high in saturated fat, could contribute to higher risks of anxiety, depression, and other mental health concerns. But why was that? And that was what I wanted to kind of find out, because I, over the course of the past few years, have tried to get those sorts of things in check. And I know when I eat like doo-doo, I feel like doo-doo. Yesterday, I think I ate ice cream for dinner, and man, it tasted great. It tasted delicious. I had the best time eating that ice cream. I woke up this morning not feeling so great. It just was not. I even think my skin felt like it looked kind of like extra blotchy. Like not broken out, but just blotchy. So I just felt like I looked a little blotchy. I felt like I didn't sleep super well, and just woke up feeling very sluggish. And that was just from I'm going to be honest. It was a mini Sonic Blast with Oreo cookie dough. So that was dinner yesterday. Yeah, it's about 500 calories. So it's enough calories for dinner. But was it good quality dinner? No, it was not. Did I love it? Yes, I did. Was I hungry afterwards? Yes, I was. Because, of course, again, that's pretty much all carbohydrates, no real good protein, no real good unsaturated, good fats for you. It was pretty much all sugar and not the greatest thing to have for dinner, but it tasted great. So, but what we're doing is we're talking about the effect of food on mental health. And so the study ultimately talks about how, and they kind of focused on several different foods. One of them being sweetened beverages and sodas. So sweetened beverages can be your morning coffee if you're adding sweeteners, and some of those sweeteners can be like the Equal, Splenda, Sweet and Low. So the blue pack, the yellow pack, the pink pack. If you're adding some of those can affect your maybe your mental health or your physical health. But also, like if you're having sodas throughout the day, whether they be diet or whether they be regular, again, added sugars, added artificial sweeteners, or sports drinks, or even if you're having like tea that's got sweetener in it. So the thing is that's what they call those free sugars. They are independently added separate of the food. So like an apple does not have free sugars in it because an apple, it contains its own sugar. It is a natural sugar. However, if I made cookies, I am pouring a certain amount of just straight up white sugar and possibly brown sugar into that cookie mix. That's the free sugar. So sweetened beverages and sodas were one of the highest to kind of that contributed. Confectionaries. So confectionaries being any sort of sweetened pastry, donut, cake, anything that would be like a baked good that had pretty substantial amounts of sugar in it. Cheeses that were high in saturated fats. And not all cheese is going to be bad for you. And it's, again, always in moderation. So it's about just kind of generally like some cheese is really tasty, but you don't need a ton of cheese because you're getting a little bit of protein. You're getting a little bit of fat. There's not a ton of carbohydrates in cheese. Usually a couple of cheeses may have a little bit. But for the most part, it's just really being careful about those saturated fats in the cheeses. And then the study suggested that these foods can change the gut microbial, it can cause gut microbial alterations, which can link to those imbalances and hormonal changes and things of that nature, and can then link to those increased risks of anxiety and depression. So what they're saying is what we're putting into our body can ultimately affect those those levels of balanced hormones in our body that we all have. And we all have different levels of hormones. We all need different things in our bodies. But when we consume a lot of these foods that aren't the greatest quality for us, our body can kind of be thrown out of whack, which ultimately throws the hormones out of whack, and then our mental health can suffer because we're not, I guess, in alignment like we need to be. So that was just a study that I thought was really cool to kind of share, and it was about food and mental health, and like I said, it was done over the course of about 7.6 years, and I thought that was pretty substantial, but also the number of participants as well. If I still have the link for it, I will try to share it, but until next time, thank you for tuning in. If you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, share, and I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one.